Steve Van Zandt here, owner of SPZ Performance in Sunrise, Florida, and today I want to look at the leg extension. I mean, you'd be hard pressed not to find a leg extension machine in any gym across America. It's funny to me how we like to demonize a lot of these things, whether they're good or they're bad, and without any context as to who are we talking about and what is the goal behind it. So let's look at some of the considerations in terms of setup and execution of this exercise to see if we can make it better for you. First, we got to look at the shin pad here, right? We've got a lot of these machines so you can adjust the shin pad up and down the shin. Why would I want to have it low versus high? Well, the higher the pad is to the knee, the less shearing force is on the knee. So just imagine friction, right? Kind of picture that. Well, shear is the opposition to that. And if you have any ACL issues or some kind of structural issues with your knee, it might feel a lot better to have that pad a bit higher. Now if you don't, it's unlikely it's going to matter either way. So I just kind of fuse it up there for everybody, which is why mine doesn't move. Right? And not all machines offer this adjustment, but if it does, I tend to have it up all the way. All right? The second adjustment we need to make, where do I start her in the position of knee flexion? Right? I'm going to have her bend her knees back as far as she can, and I'm going to bring the pad to her. Right? I don't want to shove her knees back any further than what she's showing me. There's a plethora of reasons why she might not be able to bend her knee more than another person. We're just going to respect her body's decision to limit motion there. We're not going to get into all the whys. That range could change by set, by rep, by day, by week. But today, that's what she's showing me for right now. The third adjustment, where do I bring her in terms of her seat? Right? I could have her sitting up a little further. I could have her shift back. But all these machines have this little pivot here. It's an axis of rotation, right? We want her knee joint in the ballpark of that. So if I were to scoot the seat up more and her knees in front of it, that would be no good. If I were to shift her back a bit and her knees behind this, that would be no good. What she would experience then is the pad would be sliding up and down her leg as she's doing this because she's not moving with the machine, right? Her body's going in one motion and this is applying a different motion. So it's not syncing with her. So that's an important adjustment. Don't just jump in here and sit on it how the last person had it. We need to align that knee with this axis. Okay? Third thing, seatbelt. No, I don't think she's going to fall out. This isn't about that. This isn't about her falling off the machine. What this is doing is making her heavy on this end. Right? The heavier she is on this end, the more force production she can have on this end. She's going to be able to give you more effort in her quads. Now, a lot of these have the handles on the sides that people kind of do a shrug just to pull their butt down into the seat. Well, I don't want her being distracted by going into trap failure just to do a leg extension. So we just strap a seatbelt down, and you could grab your own seatbelt or get some kind of restraint strap just to keep yourself heavy on this end. Bring that in your gym bag. I have all these machines in some way or another in this gym, some form of seatbelt for this reason. It's all physics based. Now it's time to perform the exercise. Well, here's a really often thing that people don't consider when they're doing the knee extension. If I were just I'm going to sneak her leg out the side here for a second. When people are relaxed, their leg just tends to kind of want to roll out. Right? It kind of rolls out this way. If she were to straighten her knee out, notice how her leg kind of wants to go that way. Right? It's not going up and down. Her knee joint is pivoted this direction. So if we're going to look at the knee, just imagine like she's rotated right at the hip, so she's doing this kind of thing, right? She's going that way. And the force of the machine is pushing you in this direction. So imagine just trying to bend your knee laterally. Well, the knee doesn't bend that way, right? So when you get off this thing and your knees are bothering you, you can't just go and blame the machine, right? You have to look at things like this. You want those knee joints aligned straight, so if I'm looking down on it, it's centered. All right, we're going to bring her knee back again. All right, and then the last thing I want to tell someone to do when they're starting this thing is just to lift it up, right? That's when they start using a whole lot of rocking, a whole lot of throwing. The biggest value of this is getting to the end range. So I'm going to have her contract her quads, build tension in here, not so much think about moving the steel, but contract these muscles and allow her legs to straighten. She's going to reach out that way until her knees softly lock, right? There is no danger there, guys. It's when you start throwing it into those positions where you start running into trouble. Notice how she's really working and decelerating, coming back this way too. She's not letting that weight stack just slam down. She's working, right? And she needs to tap the weight stack just to readjust to make sure this alignment stays. I'm fine with that, right? She's learning the exercise. She's executing it every single inch of this perfectly. Working her way in, building tension through here, almost swelling this stuff up, and contracting her way out of it, not just throwing her way out of it. Notice the soft end. That's how you're going to protect these joints and strengthen your quads. This is about as close as you're ever going to get to a super focused challenge in one area of the body. The only thing that's going to help her here are her quads, right? And so if you're out there thinking, well, these aren't necessary, you can do squats, you can do all these leg press, and those are better, right? We always want to put a hierarchy of these things. Guys, this exercise can be a huge compliment to those. There's nothing about stronger quads that's not going to help you in those exercises. Plus, the knee extension, the point at which this is giving you the most value, those aren't challenging those exercises, right? It doesn't matter how much weight I have in a squat, because when I'm at the top of it, all that weight's balanced through my joints. I'm not resistant until I start bending, right? That's the unique feature of this. So if you're bouncing this thing around, you're throwing it, you're launching it to the end, you blew the most important factor of this. And that last ownership of it right there, right? So if we're doing this with efficiency, we're making sure everything's aligned, we're controlling every inch of it, and it's gonna burn, and it's gonna be really challenging, but we're gonna build some rock solid quads, because you're not gonna hurt your knees.